it's Hope here at Crafty Hope, and welcome. I'm about to work on week 4 of the Jesse James Beads Summer Bead Blast Challenge. This week it's June 19th to the 25th. That's week 4. And the prompt is multi-strand, and this is the week that I was given to kind of explore the most. This is the week they asked me as a Jesse James Bead design ambassador to think on this and make something beautiful. Most of the other weeks I'm just gonna be playing along like y'all, but this week I'm just be working on multi-strand design. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Jesse James Beads has set up a 15-week summer-long challenge that they are calling their Summer Bead Blast. Each week they have a challenge, like a prompt, and y'all know if you pay attention to any of my videos, I do love a good prompt challenge. So this is right up my avenue. As a design ambassador, I only have to participate in 3 weeks of that whole summer challenge, but I'm gonna try to do all 15 because, you know, who doesn't need to make more jewelry in their life? So I've done weeks 1 through 3 already, and this is week 4. I will have graphics and information about the next week's challenge, which is going to be well connected. Well, just, you know, think about connections for next week. But this week we are thinking about multi-strand. Now, I just recently made a multi-strand necklace for Jesse James Beads. I'll try to put a link right up here. So I thought I would try a bracelet, a multi-strand bracelet, something I don't do very often, and that would definitely make it a fun challenge for me. So I've thought about this for a couple weeks now, actually. Like I said, we're on week 4, so I've been thinking about this. And I went through the beads I have from them and the chain and came up with this pretty little color combination. Now this is some chain reaction. You can see that it is gold chain and connectors with these pale pink beads wired into it. I've got some of the enamel chain in sage, and I did just recently make a necklace also with some of this enamel chain. I do love it. I'm glad I have lots of it. And then I recently got the Pantone 2023 strand. It's the pearl strand in crystal rose, and it is gorgeous, and it goes really nicely with that. So I think I'm going to do a multi-strand bracelet using these 3. Now, I don't really have to do much with these 2 other than cut them down. So I'm going to wait to cut that down until I get the 3rd strand made with my pearls here. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to cut them down. We'll cut them off the wire here. Let's see if I can find a good point to go in at without marring anything. Okay, so, and what I really want to use in here are these pearls. They are so gorgeous. I do love to take things like off a strand or out of the mix and what order they've been in from Jesse James, because they do arrange them beautifully, and you can oftentimes take a strand like that and loop it up and have a perfect bracelet or necklace. But sometimes you kind of get stuck in a mindset with the way it comes, and it's nice to mix it up so you can maybe get some other ideas. But I know that I wanted to use some of the medium-sized pearls out of here. So I think, how many were there? 2, 4, 6. And then I was going to go ahead and grab some of the larger ones as well, just in case. So I'm going to pull those out, and the rest of this I'm going to put aside. I'll have to find me, oh, I got a little baggie here I can put it in. With that, not that. Anyway, I'll put it aside. And I'm going to think about how I'm going to do this. Now, because I really enjoy making chains myself using beads, you know what? There are more of these larger ones than the smaller ones, which means I can do like these and see how long that will be. Okay, sorry. I really enjoy making chains with just wire and the beads, and I think that's what I'm going to do with this. Alright, so I have a pattern here that alternates the large and the small, or the large and the medium, not the small. The small ones are really tiny. They're cute, but super tiny. So I'm going to start by wire wrapping all of these together. Once it gets to a good length for a bracelet, which is usually like 6.5, 7 inches, I'll stop there because I know I'll stop shy of there because I know I will add jump rings and a clasp on either end, and that will also add some length to it. Ooh, my words today, goodness, y'all. Okay, so I've got some 22 gauge gold colored wire that I am going to cut down to a manageable length, and I will start this by forming a wrapped loop, my favorite. So I do have a tutorial up here on doing wrapped loops if I fly through this too fast, but all I do is I go a little ways down from the wire, from the end of the wire, so about an inch or so, maybe not that much, I don't know, and I bend it at a 90-degree angle. Then I move it down at my pliers using my round nose plier and wrap it up and over, turn my pliers, and finish that loop. So I have a loop with a little tail there. I'll reinsert my pliers and then turn that tail around that stem of the wire. Now I'll get to a certain point where I can't turn it with my fingers anymore. There are a lot of people who like to use it, do that purely with their pliers. For some reason, I gotta put my hands on it. So once I get where I can't anymore, I'll take my chain nose pliers to just flatten down the rest of that tail. Once it is a nice little wrapped loop like so, I'm going to make sure my loop is flat, and I'm going to slip on one of these pearls. It's gorgeous little pale pink pearls. Push it all the way to the end where it touches that wrap there, and then I will get my round nose pliers again and basically repeat it. So I'm going to put that tiniest little portion above my bead so it touches my bead and holds the wire, and then bend that at that 90-degree angle again. Lifting it up just a little so I can slide my pliers down, and then make another loop like so. So we've got that loop again, and I'm going to go ahead and finish this one, wrapping it around until it touches the bead like so. And then I will take some flush cutters and go in and as carefully as I can trim that. And I like to use some tweezer nose pliers to just tuck that little bit in, just a little bit, as careful as I can. And like that, I have a single link of a chain. So I'm going to continue that. I'm going to show you how I connect the next one, and then I will go on. So I'm going to do the same thing I did again. I'm going to fast forward through this. Okay, so I have made my loop. Before I make my wrap, I'm going to open that loop just a little bit and take this other link we made and slide that all the way down into my loop. So it is connected inside my loop like that. And I will take, again, my tweezer nose pliers, and I'm going to twist that back closed and hold my loop. While I'm holding my loop, I'll take my wire and make my wrap. And then I will trim, tuck, and I have two links together. So I'm going to continue that, like I said, until I get down to a fairly good length, and I will be back in just a minute. Alright, so I've started with the big one and ended with the little, but that left me, I think, with two big ones and one little, and I say little, but again, it's the medium size one. You could do this any way you want it. If you wanted to do simple loops to connect them, you might use more of your beads, or if you wanted to make the links individually and then connect with jump rings, you might use less of those beads. So you connect that anyway. I really like connecting it this. It always feels super secure to me. Whereas simple loops and jump rings to me, you know, they have splits they can open. These do not. So that's a thing for me. But I encourage you to make your chain any way you like. All right, so the next thing I'm going to do is start cutting down my prefab chains. And if you saw my other video with the necklace, you know how these enamel chains work. These are little chevrons on each side of them. They are enameled, the tips of them. So at the base of each of these, there is a loop that comes like this. And at the top, in between that little V, there's a hole. And that's how they connect to one another. But they don't open in any way. So you do have to sacrifice some of these links. So this one has already lost its loop at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead, so that I know I have a connection for it, I'm going to go ahead and cut it off if I can. So I'm going to cut up to the loop that is in it. I cannot see for some reason. Using some fairly sturdy wire cutters. There. Okay, so I've cut that off, and I hate to waste them, but this is how they work. Okay, so I have this tiny loop in the bottom. Now I'm going to think about this real quick and how the jump rings and everything are going to connect to this. So I'm thinking real quick, because it doesn't matter which way these go. But this it does. So that will be fine for a jump ring there. I might have to put a jump ring on this end, like a small one, just to make it connect better. So with that in mind, I need to decide where I want to cut this one. And I think I'm going to cut this one off here. So I'm going to cut that loop there. And then I have to get that loop off. And it does get a little fiddly. I have had to pull out my little pliers, my magnifying glass to see this, but it's totally worth it because this chain is so gorgeous. Okay, that wasn't too bad. It was cut. I just couldn't see how to get the loop off. So I have that cut down. And so next I'm going to pull out my chain reaction. And it comes on a split ring like this, so you can decide which side. I'm going to go ahead and just take it off both sides so I can figure out how I want to do this. And I could even use the split ring if I want it as part of the connection in this bracelet I am making. But split rings work kind of like keychains, where you got to just go between that little overlapping loop there. And there are tools to make that easier. I just do not have them. Alright, so I'm going to try to decide if I want to do it this way, starting with that twisty connection there, or do I want to start it over here with the crystal. And see, if I start it with the crystal here, I would get 2 crystals in it. And I could move it around a little and try to decide, because I could even do like, ooh, I kind of like that. Kind of like that, y'all. So it would start and end with a twisty. Alright, now this is like that one. It has links between it. I also do not, we're going to see if these are split. I cannot remember if they have slits in them. So we're going to find out. I'm going to use my little tweezer nose pliers, and I thought I had my bent nose over here. Okay, I don't think they are split, so I'm just going to use again my wire cutters and cut that off like that, and that means I've got these for later. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all, with the next prompt being connection or get connected, I really think I'm going to use these little connectors. I think they're great. And see, I've got these twisty connectors too. I think that would be super great in my next project. Okay, so I'm going to come down and do the same thing over here and cut that one off. Move some of that. So I've got lots of little pretty things. The cat's trying to get my lap right now. Okay, so we're going to look at these and see what everything needs. And I think we're gonna just start assembling. So I have some jump rings over here, and I told you in order for this to lay flat, I believe we need a small jump ring on this end. So I'm gonna go ahead and add it, and then look at our lengths again. Hopefully I can get it in there, that little loop. I love it so much, but it's so tiny. There we go. So I will close that. Or with jump rings, we twist them open and twist them closed so we don't distort anything. All right, so that will hopefully be about the same length. Now I think we might need to add jump rings to either side of this one since those other ones didn't open. So that's what I'm gonna do, again, using these same little jump rings. Twist close. We'll see, how does that look? Did that add too much length to it? No, I think we can still go with the jump ring over here. All right. That's great about some of these things is they can be so easily customizable. If this ends up being too short or too long, I can simply add a couple extra jump rings on it to make it like a extender chain. And you know, that's great. That's what I like about making my own jewelry, is I get to decide make these decisions, and I hope you are getting inspired to do the same. Alright, so I'm getting a larger jump ring now, not super big, but larger, so that I can slip all three of these on there. So I'm going to slip on my chain reaction, my enamel chain, and my handmade beaded chain, and then twist that closed. And I'm going to look at this real quick because I can hang it now to get a better look. Yeah, they are not exactly exact. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna put them together and we're gonna see how it looks. So I kind of want to make sure we keep everything in order. So I'm gonna lay it back out, at least like this, so nothing gets too twisty. Make sure it is all straight. I'm gonna take my jump ring. Let's see if I'm gonna add chain reaction, enamel chain, and then our handmade beaded chain. Just like that. And then close that jump ring. And let's see. Let's lay it out on our, oh y'all, look how pretty that is. You know, I always have this thing on and it's so distracting. So that is great. Now I'm definitely gonna need at least one more jump ring on either end. Keep this from twisting. Yeah, and I think that will help it from twisting as well. So we're going to make sure we get this so that these, oh, you know what? That jump ring did not get closed. That is important to do. Oh, maybe it was. It was an optical illusion. All right, again, we're gonna make sure that that enamel chain is in the middle like I want it, and then add this other jump ring. And twist that jump ring closed. Go to the other side and do the same thing. Again, making sure our enamel, see that enamel chain is not in the middle. There we go. Alright, so we'll get our other jump ring like so, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and add my clasp, and I am going to use a lobster clasp if I can get in my little container. Oh my goodness. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and add my lobster clasp, just slipping it on this jump ring. And that way on the other end, if I need to add a little bit of chain or a couple more jump rings, I can to make it fit. All right, so we're gonna see. Oh no, that's gonna be perfect. I think what I do need, I don't know, y'all, that's awful pretty, isn't it? I feel like I do need 1 or 2 more jump rings on this, so I'm gonna go ahead and add them, and I might add a dangle. I'm feeling like I might need a dangle. So I'm looking around because I know I had my gold findings here just a minute ago. Alright, so 2 more jump rings. Just as like I said, a little bit of an extender chain. And give me 1 second to find, there they are, some gold head pins. So I've got one with a ball end tip to it. And I think I'm going to use one of those tiny pearls. If I can get my... Alright, so I'm going to put a tiny pearl, one of these tiny pink pearls on there. And grab where? Oh. And make a wrap loop. So I will wrap it, and just like our chain, before I close it all the way and wrap it, I'm going to slip it on this last jump ring. Now if I decide to add more jump rings, because that is a jump ring, I can always open the jump ring and take this wrap loop off. Alright, so we're going to twist, make our little wrap. We're going to trim, tuck, and test. Oh, y'all, I am so happy with this. It is too precious. Oh, I love it. It's the perfect, like, romantic, and I don't know. So I will have some pictures of this. You can get a better close-up picture of it. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Let me know what you think. And definitely go check out Jessie James Beads and the Summer Bead Blast. Use that hashtag JJB Summer Bead Blast if you decide to participate in this challenge. It's super fun. Remember, this week is multi-strand. I did a bracelet. You could do a necklace. Maybe you do a couple strands of earrings somehow, or even a bookmark that has multi-strands. It doesn't have to be wearable jewelry. It can be like jewelry for, you know, for your... I've done fan pulls. It could be jewelry for your fan pull or your window that's multi-strand. Just have fun with it. I will see y'all later. Thanks for watching. If you like this, give me a thumbs up. Make sure to hit that subscribe button down there, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.